Hi, it's Paul Sackis, Good News Broadcast. We're here at the 2010 James Beard Foundation Awards, Lincoln Center, Avery Fisher Hall. This is the Oscars. No, wait a second. It's not the Oscars. It's the Oscars of the food world. All righty. Wolfgang Puck, Alton Brown, Lydia Bantasnish, and co-host Nation's Top Culinary Honors. There's going to be an immense amount of food specialists, including Mario Batali, the Nellies, Daniel Boulon, Andrew Zimmerman, Drew Nieper, and John George has got a place over in the corner here. Tom Colicchio is a place down the street. Todd English got a place over there. Ted Allen's got a place over there. Kelly Cho. Every one of these people have a place somewhere here. Joe Bentasish, Jose Andreas, Thomas Keller. So what this is actually, this is a dubbed the Oscars of the Food World by Time Magazine, James Beard Foundation Awards, honoring the best and the brightest in the nation's food industry. The awards celebrate outstanding achievement in restaurants and chefs, books, journalism, restaurant, design and graphics, broadcast media, and special achievement awards. Okay, we're going to talk to some people. We're going to give us a little B-roll because this is a hard to get into event, and so we're very excited to be here. Thank you for watching. Go to our food area on Good News Broadcast. We have tons of stories, and I just lost 30 pounds. You are very, very popular, so there must be a lot of people that like to eat unusual food.
I think what it is that, folks, there's an aspirational nature to what I do. Most people don't get to go to Botswana and live with the Bushmen of the Kalahari and the Aha Hills outside of Kakai and eat wild African porcupine. It's just not going to happen. Even the most inveterate travelers are never going to make that. But by the same token, we have a cultural message about experiencing food by diving in sort of face first somewhere. And I think everybody can relate to that, even for folks that are having a food adventure across town. You don't have to go across the world. And so I think it's very resonant for them.
And how about the way you would prepare a porcupine?
Well, actually, you rip the skin off, and after you take the quills off, and you just put this big glob of skin fat on the open coals, and then you eat that, and you let the flesh and bone dry on a tree, and then you make soup with it later that night. At least that's how they do it.
It's a heck of a start of the show, but it
works
for you.
It's worked for me. I was really honored and surprised last night that I got this honor, and I'm really humbled by it. It's amazing, and the show's ridiculously popular, and I'm amazed.
It seems that those 16 years that Daniel are starting to being at least recognized for what we have accomplished. So I'm very excited to be a nominee tonight, and I wish every one of my colleagues to win, but I don't mind to take it if I can.
You do a lot of philanthropic work as well.
Yes.
With Daniel Boulon. Mm-hmm. And where does that passion come from?
I think the passion of being a chef is also the passion of giving, and I think for me it's all about giving every day with our work, with our team, with what we do, but it's also giving it back also to the community. So I'm on the board of City Meal on Wheel, and I care a lot about them. And of course, besides participating to many other charity all year long, I do a special gala for them every year, and I do every opportunity I have to raise money for it.
I write cookbooks that are based in the African diaspora and that talk about the food of Africa and what has happened to it when it got to the New World.
Okay, name a more recent cookbook that you've been working on.
Well, my most recent one is called Rum Drinks, and it's about rum, because that's one of the reasons we're here. And it's from Chronicle, and it just came out about a couple of months ago. And the next one is called High on the Hog, and it's a narrative history of African Americans in food, and it's coming from Bloomsbury in 2011.
Does the altitude of the mountains affect cooking food?
Absolutely. What really affects the food, though, the ingredients. And I think that, the fact that water boils a little bit less is going to affect things, but you have to really concentrate on great ingredients. And I think that's what all of us do,
Breathing?
Breathing is a little bit more of a challenge, but I tell you, it helps when you drink a lot and you come back to the sea level area, because you can consume a lot more alcohol, which is good for us.
So instead of going into the grass, do you go into the snow?
Yes, you go into the snow. In fact, we just got 2 feet of snow this past weekend, so it's still snowing there. Unfortunately. Right. But
so what's one of your signature dishes?
Chicken liver pate. We do a lot of things with chicken livers and a lot of things with featured ingredients. We own a little organic farm, and so we're really happy to feature everything from there. Our own pigs, our own chickens. We make all of our own pastas by hand, which I'm really proud of.
What makes something modern French?
Well, you know, I think French food, a lot of people think of heavy and a lot of sauces, and the food is very light, and we use, only a few ingredients on a plate, but we do use French techniques.
What's a staple to cook in with a French flavor? What are some staples? What are that?
Well, we have a whole roasted duck. We always work with lobster. We work with foie gras as well, of course. Just very seasonal. We change the menu almost every day.
Tell us about Chicago and food in Chicago.
It's not the place most people think, because the reputation for Chicago is the old steakhouses, back of the yards, simple food, but it's one of the great cities for food in the country right now. We have not only incredibly talented chefs at the top level, but we've got talent that just goes all the way down through the ranks, and we have some pretty good cheap eats.
Now, you have one of the greatest food festivals, though, in the world, the Taste of Chicago. Are they still doing that?
They still do Taste of Chicago, but it's become more commercial. Now, if you want the really good stuff like that, you go to the old Maxwell Street Market on Sunday morning and you taste all the street food that's there. It's incredible.
Tell us about your restaurant.
My restaurant is Frontera Grill. Well, we have three actually side by side. Frontera Grill does regional foods of Mexico, sort of mid-scale. We have fine dining with Topolobampo, and we have a street food concept that's called Shoko. Just opened about 7 months ago.
I'm the beverage director, wine director for the John George Group. We're nominated for the most outstanding wine service category, and we're very excited.
Actually, I just interviewed previously Jean Georges' partner,
Phil.
Phil, right?
Yep.
And he was talking about, and I was mentioning I was just down in the Bahamas, and you have a spot there, right?
Cafe Martinique.
Right. Well, this was in the Bahamas. This was in Atlantis.
Yeah.
But tell us about selecting for a restaurant now wines.
Well, I think today it's very important to make sure that we have the right price points, that the consumer gets what they're looking for. I would say that it's much harder work today than it was, I would say, 10 years ago, finding wines, good wines.
And what brought you to this type of a career?
It just fell in my lap. It was just one of those things that just happened to be there, and probably because I was the fastest guy to run down to the wine cellar and come back with the right bottle.
You have a book?
A book, yes. Lydia Cooks from the Heart of Italy is the most recent.
And you have a TV series?
Yes, Lydia's Italy on public television.
How come we're all named after you?
I wonder. I do a lot of work.
You love this
there's
industry?
a lot of help. It doesn't happen by itself. There's a whole team of people, good people, and I think that's what tonight is all about mentoring and creating and nurturing young minds, young people, and getting them up to speed and working, as true professionals.
And what's good news for you?
Good news for me is the economy is getting better. Life is good. There's a ever more consciousness to good food, so I'm able to get much better products. The children hopefully are eating better, so we have a lot to accomplish as we move forward.
You're up for an award this evening.
I am, but winning or not, the good thing is that always you have a chance to see friends that sometimes you don't have time to see during the year, and happy to be here.
What are some of the dishes you like to create?
Well, I like, the dish I love is the one I don't know is coming, the new one. The old ones, they're old. I get bored by them. So for me, my favorite dish is the one I will create tomorrow, so I cannot tell you about it yet.
That's why you keep on the top of things. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
I'm John George's partner since day one, so it's about 22 years being his partner, and in the restaurant business about 30 some odd years. So,
what is it that excites you about this?
It keeps evolving, and that's and see young, great talent come along, and they still pay homage to the old guys, so it all works out.
And so you've moved restaurants all around. I know John George has one down in. I just came back from Atlantis.
We do everything together pretty much, yeah. So we've opened in the last couple of years in Doha, Istanbul, Singapore, Shanghai, London, Mexico, so it's becoming pretty much an international package.
I think a lot of people, though, might not realize how good value you can get in a restaurant like, say, John George in the Columbus Circle.
I couldn't agree with you
more. You get the best breakfast there for I'm going to say a number out there just so people know. 10, 20, in the, you know,
Well,
the same thing it'll cost,
Exactly.
it'll cost you in a bagel spice.
Well, I think so, for sure. Especially our lunch. I think our lunch is probably the best value in the States. We do a $24.95 or $23.95 three-course John George lunch. You'll never top that. I don't care what you tell me. And if you do, God bless you, because I think it's almost impossible.
Congratulations on being nominated. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I've been designing, building, and operating restaurants my whole life for over 40 years or something. And Boulevard, which is up for the 6th year in a row, and maybe we're going to get it this year for best restaurant in the country. Just an awesome restaurant in San Francisco. It's fantastic.
What's the exact address over there?
We're at 1 Mission. We're right on the corner of Mission and Embarcadero. And then I'm on the agenda this year for Restaurateur of the Year.
What got you into this business?
I grew up in New York City, and my father worked for the State Liquor Authority. He used to take us to the greatest restaurants in the world in the 60s. So I was exposed to great food, and I gravitated. And then I went to the Cornell Hotel School, and then I opened 35 restaurants in 25 years, all the good ones.
And you opened them in what manner, what way?
Well, the first restaurant we opened was Montrachet in 1985 with $50,000. We got 3 stars from the New York Times, and the rest was history. Robert De Niro, you know him? You talking to me? He came in and we opened Meet the Little Folkers he's doing now. He'll meet the big folkers again. But then we opened that in 1990, 20 years ago, and in between then we did a Nobu everywhere in the world. And then we have a 400-seat restaurant in the Met Stadium, and a 2 Michelin star restaurant called Cortone in the premise of where Montrachet used to be. See, I don't have a card, I have a brochure.
Okay. I was just down in Atlantis in the Bahamas. And
Right. There is a Nobu there. Did they take your money?
They took a lot of money there. So the point of the question is this. What do you think the thrill is? Like, so say a New Yorker now down in the Bahamas, and they see Carmine's, they see Nobu, they see some of the local restaurants that they know very well.
I think it's easier for the consumer, especially the tried and true restaurants of New York, when they go someplace else, there's a confidence that they're going to get what they know from their New York experiences elsewhere. So, the brand rate's supreme these days, so it's a big thing now.
You're coming from where?
Gustavus, Alaska, near Glacier Bay National Park.
Okay, and what kind of, you have a restaurant there?
We do. It's actually an inn. We provide housing, lodging, and meals for our guests during the summertime.
So is this an inn is that location a place that like people take a big boat and they would go from Seattle or from up to Alaska and then come up and see you all?
No, we serve the independent traveler, no cruise ships. You have to fly to Seattle, then to Juneau, then to us on a small plane. And maybe tonight we'll see a picture of that plane.
Okay, is it your plane? You have a special plane that takes people up
there's
there?
an air taxi service that provides flights back and forth to Juneau.
Okay, tell us some of the kind of food that you would serve in the restaurant.
The story of our inn is really the story of the seafood right there in our front yard. Salmon, king salmon, halibut, sablefish, king crab, Dungeness crab. It goes straight from the water to the table.
So how would you cook a salmon?
We have several ways. The most popular is barbecued. And we also poach it. We bone it and then restuff it with that's meat and crab. We'll do that for big occasions occasionally. There's a few others. The sorrel sauce. Sorrel is an herb that we grow in the garden. So it's all very simply prepared. We take the best ingredients that we can get locally and just serve it, just cooked as simply as possible.
What kind of food do you have?
We have New Mexican food.
Did you say New Mexican food?
New Mexican.
It's like brand new? It's
not Mexican. It's not Mexican, it's New Mexican.
Okay, what would that be? Give us an example. So, say an enchilada. How would you make an
enchilada with corn tortillas and red chili, your choice of red or green, and with onions and smothered with plenty of hot chili.
Okay. How do you make a very, 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 very hot chili?
We get our chili from Hatch, New Mexico, and it's grown there in New Mexico at Hatch, and it's just the flavor's already there, when they pick up that chili, and then they just bring it to us in cases, 50-pounders. Yeah.
Dried chili pots. It's dried chili pods,
Chili
and it just
pod.
depends on how it's grown. It can vary from box to box, whether it's mild or hot. Yeah.
When you were a younger woman, did you know you were going to end up opening a restaurant and going to be at the Avery Fisher Hall in New York?
Never dreamed. I never dreamed. My late husband was worked for the government as a firefighter at the base, and he retired young. He was only a little bit over 40. So he's the one that instigated all this. So he better be watching.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. Well, you have the family here. It's a very special occasion, I'm sure, for you.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations. It's real good news. Congratulations.
Thank you.